Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Friday Eve Spectacular that is known as the Friday Eve Spectacular. And what we're going to do today is do what we always do, do it how we do it. It's the Sideline Junkies. It's the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Man, it's Thursday. It's Friday Eve. It's what they call it. But I'm going to get back to my normal intro like I normally do it. Let's see if we can get this, if I can remember how it goes. It involves the office and people. Let me see. Let me see if I can get you a good visual of what I'm talking about. So tomorrow, people gonna get to work. They're gonna see a little thing, right? There it is. They're in the break room. People are in the break room as we speak. This time tomorrow morning, or early tomorrow morning, I should say. And there's that refrigerator, and that's where the guy's going to be filling up his little water thing. And over there, you see the microwave, and you see everything going on, right? And then they're going to be talking, and after they get finished talking, they're going to say, did you watch the show? And everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, I always watch it. The straggler, the new guy that just came in, he doesn't know about the show. So he has to ask, what's the show? And they say, it's the Thursday night Throwdown. And that's how you start off your Friday Eve. That's how it gets going. That's the Kool-Aid and the sugar getting stirred up. It's all of that. But with that being said, Thursday night, Throwdown. We got a nice little lineup for you. First and foremost, the guy with me today is the boss man, BJ. I'm the Midnight Rider. So what we're going to talk about today? You said you got a
first on. Okay. I can't even let it go. I got to hit it. G.I. Joe! I had to hit it. You can't not do it when you see it. You gotta hit it, you know. But how are you this evening, Ryder?
Oh man, I'm good, man. It's funny. I got a bunch of these like random cartoon T-shirts that I've been rocking lately. I got the G.I. Joe. I got the Voltron. I think I got a Thundercats one in here. I've been just having fun with it now. But what we're going to talk about is first, some crazy stuff came out after Nothing But Net last night with Adam Silver. We're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to kind of preview the college basketball slate, just tell you what's going on, what day it is. I'm not going to get too much in the weeds on that. And then we got a nice conversation piece. And hopefully if you're in the comments, you can jump in. It's about the combine. First, is it tape versus time? So are you watching the tape, or are you a person that is big on the combine and the times? And then the carryover question off of that is the combine outdated? Is there another format should they be using? What is there something different, or do they have it right? So those are all the things we're going through. BJ, I'm gonna let you take the controls and you say where we want to go.
Hey man, look, let's do it in order. Let's build off of Nothing But Net. I thought y'all did a great job. Y'all did a great job of breaking down the whole anti-tanking thing with Adam Silver and what they're trying to roll out. Very good points made on that show last night. So if you didn't check it out, go back. You can go back on our YouTube. Check out Nothing But Net with C. Perry II and Midnight Rider, and that comes on 8 p.m. Wednesdays. So 7:30. 7:30. Let's go right into it.
So news came out after we finished Nothing But Net. Adam Silver started talking about trying to verify if the injuries that these players are actually sending out games for is actually warranted. And he was talking about sending an independent doctor down to actually check out and kind of give them boots on the ground, second opinions, seeing if these things were actually reasons for a guy to miss long periods of time. Then right before the show came up, we get a nice little post from Twitter by Mark Stein. Mark Stein says the NBA is not sending an independent doctor to Utah to sit in on Lauri Markkanen's scheduled MRI today. As widely reported, the league office will have access to the MRI results as stipulated by the CPA and its player participation policy. Uh, I think that's somebody. I'm not gonna say. I think the owners made a phone call as a group last night because I think they knew that he was opening a trap, a wormhole, and I think he's gone too far because that was a quick like recant of doing this and making this happen. And I feel like they told him you overstepping your bounds because he was going to try to do this with multiple teams, and if that was going to be the case, I thought this just had nothing but disaster written all over it.
This is the NBA's fault. I just want to say that. We talked about this. I think we touched on it a little bit, but this whole thing, the NBA, when you let people, what's the saying? You let people skate too long, and that's what they did because people been skating too long with tanking and fake injuries, and I think it started a couple years ago when this generation of players with the load management, they didn't get that under control in a timely fashion, and now you're here. And this might be one of the rare instances where you see the Players Association and the owners band together,
right?
Because like this is like serious stuff right here, where you're talking about sending medical doctors to verify injuries, and then the Players Association is gonna have field day with that because it's like, okay, what are their, then the Players Association is going to want to have their doctor come in and sit. So now you're going to have 2 or 3 doctors come in because then the owner's going to be like, well, I want my own independent doctor. Because now you're going to have 4 doctors in here for an MRI that's making $1,000 an hour each. Something stupid, something ridiculous. But I will give Adam, he's trying something. Something has to be done. But I say it all the time. One of the main issues for me, and when we were debating last Thursday, is that you let your bad teams be bad for a long time. You let your bottom dwellers be bottoms for a long time, and you at this point now where, like, people have seen kind of how to rebuild what Oklahoma City did, what Philadelphia kind of tried to do. We all know you can't really change your franchise unless you get a top 10 pick, you got a chance. You get a top 3 pick, it's hard to not hit a grand slam. It's hard. You might hit a ground rule double, and that's not good in a top 3 pick. You're going to get the second base. You might get a guy that's doing 12 and 6, but a top 3 pick, you need a guy that's averaging at least 20. You need one of those guys. So I give him credit. It's a start, but it's going to be a long battle. It's because I was listening to you guys last night. It's so much, and I think you said it, Ryder. It's so many loopholes that people are going to find in each and every little thing he's trying to implement. And then you're never going to close those loopholes.
Exactly. And actually that's it's a quote that I got from Michael Wilbon a long time ago. It was during one of the NBA work stoppages. He said there's a bunch of owners paying lawyers to create these rules that they're going to abide by. And then when the agreement's made and finished, they're going to turn around and pay another group of lawyers to figure out how to work around all the stuff that they implemented. I think it's one of his best quotes. I think, I know it's Wilbon and I know it's Pardon the Interruption because that was during the time when I watched it. I don't watch it as much anymore, but yeah. Hey man, so my thought is we got to talk about top threes. There's been some bad top threes, but for the most part, you can tend to get something out of the top part of a draft. There are some occasions like, and this might not be the exact class. I might have a guy missing somewhere, but there was a year where like Jahlil Okafor was like taking 2. I think Markelle Fultz was maybe one year.
Yeah.
I think Tatum was like in one group. It was like Tatum was taken third, and he's the best player in the whole class.
Yeah.
There's another
Milicic.
draft where, like Jaylen Brown is probably the best player now, and he was taken like seventh or something. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. When we talk about the tanking, everybody says like, oh, it's just started. It hasn't just started. We've been doing this. It's just now more teams realize that they don't have a chance to get a superstar.
Yep.
Like, and this is part I think free agency in a sense is dead because you don't really see guys get to the free market anymore. Most of these
Well,
guys are signing. Go ahead.
let me ask you this. What are your historical teams that don't have a shot at free agency to land a big? Give me just you ain't got a real. Just give me 2 or 3 teams historically. You're not getting that big free agent.
Oh, easy. Sacramento. I think Utah is one. I think Washington is one.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Indiana's one. I think
Yeah.
Indiana made the best move by trading Sabonis for Halliburton. So
Yes.
that's how they got good. The Celtics tanked, and then they stole Brooklyn's draft for like 3 years after they made that trade with the big three. It was Paul Pierce. No, it was 2 of the big three. Pierce and Garnett went to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn gave them like their next 3 first round picks. And then that flopped.
Yes, crazy.
Oh, what else can I think of?
Give me your top 4 teams. Give me top 4 teams historically. When a big free agent hits the market, these 5 teams they're already in the running.
Now it's the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Clippers will get in now because of Ballmer. Because he'll pay you either over or under the table.
I think the Clippers get in because it's LA.
Yep. The Knicks.
The Knicks. The Celtics.
You know what? The Celtics would, but I think the Celtics have drafted so shrewdly the last decade and built up that squad that I don't know if I don't think they'll be big participants in free agency. Like they'll always get their fringe guys. When you come away with Brown and Tatum,
you set. You're set. That's 10 years worth of on the. I don't want to call it. I think the wrong word is rebuild because when you got Jason Tatum and Brown healthy, you're competing for a championship yearly. So I'll just say it because it's like the right thing, but an on the fly rebuild. When you got to replace parts, where you make a deep run and whoever was at the point guard showed off and they get this big contract from Utah and they're gone. You got to replace that guy. I would throw Houston in there. Houston as a destination that it seems like a lot of players favor.
Miami would be one if they had the space. But most of the time, Miami's cash strapped.
Yeah, they are. But if they can make something happen, I think between Miami, the 2 LA teams, and Houston,
and then Golden State,
because we're in Golden State. Because I'm not just talking about basketball, because we know players are higher on nightlife and surroundings and weather. Exactly. So you probably have some players that are willing to take a little bit of a cut to get to those places, and then if it's the Wizards, they have to pay an arm and a leg and some more stuff, brain matter probably.
Well, think of it this way: there's certain states like another thing that makes Houston attractive is I don't think they have state income tax or state tax.
That's what DeRozan was talking about when he got his first check in Texas. He couldn't believe it because remember he was in Canada,
right,
getting his paycheck sliced up. It was.
Well, that's another reason why you don't go to Sacramento.
Yeah,
because they got some crazy rules there. It's odd how it affects Sacramento, but I don't ever remember hearing them say that about the LA teams. So
I thought it was California period that had, what is it, the jock tax?
Yeah.
Because that's what they were talking about with Sam Darnold from the Seattle Seahawks, how he owed for playing in the Super Bowl after his Super Bowl check, which is just crazy. But look,
How can you do that? Good God.
Man, somebody would have to pay some. I'm sorry, you ain't taking. I owe you for playing there. Like they have to do something. I know people were saying, "Well, don't play the Super Bowl in LA." They're not going to not play the Super Bowl in LA. They got SoFi
Right.
Stadium. It's LA. They got to figure something out. Will they? It's not affecting NFL. It's affecting their players. So that's the Players Association.
It's funny because I think soon the rotation will be. They're never leaving New Orleans. New
No,
Orleans is the perfect city for a Super Bowl because hotels, arrangements,
they
nightlife.
already party down there. They already used to big crowds.
Um, whatever I think it's the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. That's always going to get it again. Another city already prepared for the nightlife and everything. It's the only one that kills me, and it's weird, but I get it. Is Minnesota. Minnesota's always in the Super Bowl rotation,
Yeah,
but
I don't get Minnesota.
I'll tell you why.
Talk to me.
Minnesota Stadium is one of the best stadiums in the league. It's probably I think it's been built within the last 5 to 8 years. So when
Okay,
they get those new buildings, same thing with Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, they'll get Super Bowl stuff.
I'm about to say that's another one.
That's they crown jewels, So far, you said,
U.S. Bank
honestly,
Stadium is what it's called.
when you get when Joe Gibbs Stadium or whatever it's called gets done in 2030, probably 2032 to 2033, you're gonna see a Super Bowl there.
You think that's going to be in a hard rotation?
I think it's going to depend on. I think what's going to make it get in the rotation, if it gets in, is next year. Don't forget, next year the 2027 draft comes here, and I think once they get those sight lines off of that and see how that plays on TV, I think it's going to be a whole different thing, a whole different world.
Real quick to kind of wrap this up. We veer off like we always do. A lot of this stuff Adam Silver's talking about is supposed to be implemented next season. Is it as soon as possible, or is it beginning of next season?
I think it's going to have to get. I think there's going to have to be some amendments made. I think those are the proposals. I don't know what's going to stick. I know in the NFL, whenever you make a rule change, like I think you have to get 25 of the 32 owners to approve it. So the question is going to be, where is he going to get the approval for this? I don't know if it's like that in NBA. That's one thing I probably have to learn, so I can be better about that. But if the NBA has that, I'm gonna be hard pressed for some of those rules to get through as just rules that they're gonna adopt. The one where you can't pick in the top 4 the year after being the conference champion.
Yeah, that kind of I kind of scratched my head on that one.
That's the Indiana rule.
Okay.
Because Indiana is now contending to probably be one of the 2 worst teams in the league, and they just coming off. Now you add back Halliburton, and you put this number 2 or top 5 pick in their hands. I mean,
but they weren't tanking. That's the thing. Halliburton got their best player got hurt, and he's out. I mean, you can't, like, we can see the teams that are obviously tanking. I don't, Indiana. I think that rule is gonna. If I'm an owner, and you look at that situation with Indiana or any team where you lose a player in the playoffs and you're starting the season shorthanded and you're going to be a top 10 and now or whatever, and if it's a rule now because you made it this far, you can't have it. You're like, hey, we didn't tell him to go out there and break his leg or whatever, or break his ankle. That's out of our control. We didn't sit him on purpose. So that's going to be hard.
I totally agree. That's why I think he put a lot of stuff out there, hoping to get responses, basically letting them know, okay, this will go, but this won't work. You know, a lot of times the commissioners will put stuff out there so that way everybody knows about it and it doesn't hit them at the last minute. Then they can do their research and figure out what they want to implement, what they don't want to implement. And that's how I see it.
Makes sense.
All right.
With that being said,
what?
We are going to, we'll leave the combine stuff for last. So let's skate into, now, first of all, before we skate into the college basketball slate for this weekend, I want you to, do we know where they're hosting the draft for here next year? Is it going to be the convention center? Where are they going to be at?
Nah, they're going to do this all on the mall. They're going to.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, the National Mall is going to be because what they want is the sight lines. Think about Friday, what is it? Thursday night is the first night of the draft, the first 2 nights. You get those lights coming down the side. You get the flags going up. You got the monument, because they're going to pick it the right line where they can get the monument, the Capitol, and everything in all their shots.
I get that, but the logistics of having you can't have. Are you talking about for the people or the actual draft?
I'm talking about all of it.
I can't, because you can't have your green rooms. You can't if you got weather. Now you can have the people out there on the mall with the draft and people inside. You could kind of set up, but the tables, people in these $10,000 suits and dresses and stuff. Mom's just not sitting outside getting her hair wet if it's raining.
You don't remember Detroit? Detroit, they had it built up where they had a whole backstage underneath, and all the players came out to the outside. So they came through like this little hole, whatever, up the steps, and then they were outside. There wasn't like no convention center or anything built. I think they built up like a setup, and the players were in that.
We'll see. Is this a they set the site, or they it's just preliminary kind of?
Nah, this it's gonna be on the mall.
Man, I just can't with the convention center here, which is a pretty big, nice convention center, and then Capital One Arena, where you can have the setup you want, the green room, the people, the suites.
You think it's too small? You think it's too small? Think about. I think I'll look it up. But I could have swore that Detroit had like a couple million people watching this. Well, they were outside last year. They don't do the draft inside. Like everybody's coming outside to whatever pavilion they're in.
We're gonna have to see how that works, because you know how the weather is here. The weather here. They be like, man, it's gonna be 68 tomorrow, and a slight breeze from the northeast, and then it's sleet on the ground. So I just, man, it's gonna be a tough sell for me. So look, we'll see.
We're talking late April, so most time we're past the cold. We're kind of in that where I used to call it the 2 season days, where it starts off spring. By midday you get like summerish, and then the evening is back to spring or fall type of weather.
Definitely.
You go from 40 in the morning to
78 in the midday.
Yeah.
You gotta take
down to 40
off. You gotta have a big man towel on your shoulder, walking around, and then if you don't get home in time with your wet clothes and the sun go down and it's back to 40, now you're freezing.
I used to always wear hoodies in college. So start the day with a hoodie. Hoodie comes off, goes in the backpack during the day, and then it comes right back out. The only other time I had to dress that crazy was the one time I went to Denver, because Denver's like that. But Denver's worse because Denver gets cold at night. And then it just gets like super hot during the day.
Crazy. Let's move into our next segment real quick. We're going to go over this weekend's college basketball. Let's see here. What do you want to do? Men's, women first? We want to do men's?
Because we were just talking about this pre-show. I find it funny how the men's slate is loaded. Like I was going through the list, and there's like, if you play college basketball on the men's side, you're playing Saturday.
Yeah.
And I get why they do it, but I just because I had this assignment today, I noticed it. So this weekend you get number 11 Virginia versus number 1 Duke. That's going to be a tremendous ball game. Virginia's kind of cooling off, so we're going to see if they can challenge, the Boozer kids in this ball game. Then you get number 14 Kansas. The big question with Kansas is, does Peterson play?
I was about to say, is he going to sub himself out?
He's weird, and I'm gonna come back to that. Versus number 2 Arizona, you get number 16 Texas Tech versus Iowa State. It's amazing how Iowa State the last 3 or 4 years has been a top 10, top 15 type of program.
Yeah.
Then you get number 17 Alabama versus number 22 Tennessee. This is going to be a barn burner. I think Tennessee struggles to score, but they play tough defense, so they kind of keep themselves in ball games a lot of the time. We had a real good game with Alabama and Arkansas. That was the one that went into like 3 overtimes.
Yes, I think it was double overtime and
double. That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good. Yeah. Double overtime. Yeah, I when I saw the games, I was like, I don't know if Virginia, how they playing right now, is going to top Duke at home. So that one game I was kind of looking forward to was that Alabama-Tennessee game. I think that's, like you said, the defense, and then Alabama's offense. We're going to see what moves the needle. So, but keeping up with college basketball weekend, we're going to move over to the women's side, and here is the women's slate. So it's loaded.
Yeah. I think this is, so as I was telling you earlier, this is the Sunday games is their ESPN slate for Sunday. So you get let's start with Saturday real quick. You get number 14 Maryland versus number 8 Michigan.
6 straight, right?
Huh?
I think Maryland won 6 straight.
I think so. I'm not sure. I haven't kept up with them.
I think it's 6 straight.
But I would believe you, because I think Brenda Freese is probably one of the, if you had to do a poll of the top 5 coaches in the area, I think she's easily one of the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michigan got a little resurgence with their women's program. They're 8th ranked team. And then Sunday, you get number 4 Texas versus 24 Alabama. Should be a good game. Texas is one of those teams that I think the top 3 teams in the women's side, UConn, South Carolina, UCLA. Mm-hmm. I think that's your cream of the crop.
Yeah.
And Texas starts like this next tier of about 4 or 5 teams that all fighting for the number 4 spot, to get the 1 seed, and then everybody else is going to end up as probably 2s on the slate. So that's how that's going to play out. You get 12 Duke versus 21 Carolina. I mean, rivalry, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, about to say.
3 South Carolina versus 16 Kentucky. That's going to be a nice ball game. And then you get number 18 Baylor versus number 11 TCU.
Some good games, man.
Hey, man.
That's going to be some good games.
TCU got my girl, Olivia Miles. Yeah, dog, I can't wait. She's going. I think the last joint she had. I think I posted it in the group. Like she had I don't know if it was the last game or not, but she had like a 40, 11, and 6 type of ball game. She gets it in. She's a great passer. She's a good shooter. If you ever go under the screen and you're guarding her, cancel Christmas. Put the wife on. Hey, you gotta do the thing from Harlem Nights. You gotta put the wife on the phone and say, "I'm not coming back."
Not coming back. Oh my goodness, man. Hey, that's hilarious. But hey, look, it is what it is. Like I said, that's gonna be good. Look, go to liquor store now, right? Okay. I'm just saying. I'm trying to give some sound advice on here. Go to liquor store now. You got Saturday, Sunday, and don't forget you got the combine too. So you gotta have it. You gotta multitask. If you got the tablet, you can have the NFL Plus with the combine running. You got the laptop, men's basketball. You got the big screen. Put the women on. You got the phone. Check them on the stats. Okay. No. I'm sorry. The phone is for betting. You check your
Right.
bets on the phone. You check your bets on the phone. Make sure you're still clean. Make sure, see if you need to cash out, get out real quick, or whatever you need to do. All right. So look, weekend is set. So with that being said, we're gonna go on to the meat and potatoes of this show, which is the NFL Combine. This is a two-parter here. So the first part of this, and if you didn't know today, NFL Combine started today. It's linebackers and the defensive linemen. And just a quick little tidbit, Sonny Styles is absolutely showing out. I just want to remind you guys that this kid is 6'5", 244. He just jumped a 43.5-inch vertical, the best for a linebacker since 99. And he did a 11.2 broad jump, which is fourth best since 99. Okay. So this is definitely going to go into what we're talking about. David Bailey, I think he's projected to go third. 4.5, I think it's 4.51 40-yard dash.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Goodness gracious. Man. Look, I love the combine. But we got some things to talk about. And our first segment is tape versus time. Ryder, if you're a GM and you need it, because I think this is a unique situation for a lot of teams, because you got teams like you got Kansas City sitting up at, are they 7th or 9th, wherever they are?
They're 9. New Orleans is 8.
Okay.
Washington is 7.
You got a team like Kansas City that the reason why they're there is, what was it, a traded draft pick, or is that because of where they finished at this year because Mahomes got hurt?
This is where they finished at. So this is just the plan or the build for this version didn't work out. They had some injuries, of course. You lose Pat late in the season, but I think by the time they lost Pat, they were already kind of
sliding a little bit.
Yeah, they were already on the end of their thing. It was just like they were holding on for help,
But look, you talk about the opportunity to retool, and you get a healthy Patrick Mahomes back. And what's projecting on a lot of people's mock draft board is Ruben Bain going here, which is, you get, if he does what he did in Miami, and that translates to the pros, it's gonna be trouble for a lot of people. So
all right, here's my early view.
Worried about the arm? Are you worried about the arms?
No. I'm not really worried about the arms, but that's funny that you brought that up, because that's perfect for this part of the segment. It's the tape versus the time. I think his tape, everything I saw, I don't remember seeing him like looking like a T-Rex trying to wipe his butt. So I think he's gonna be fine. I just think when we get these measurements, sometimes we overlook them. Like, nobody was dogging Matt Campbell until they saw him in the 3 games in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But they were playing better competition, and he played 3 very, very good ends. So it's like, is it really him? Or is it just he was going against somebody really good, and that's why he struggled? So I think that sets the cursor for this. And I think Bain's in that same situation where I think Bain has an active motor. He's very athletic. I mean, I remember the play week 1 against Notre Dame. There's a pass going on a screen.
You would have remembered that.
And he comes down and with the interception. You know what I'm saying? He goes, rushes, and then chases down the play and gets an interception out of it. So I think the guy has otherworld athleticism. He's a guy, if I fail on him, I'll die on that hill. That's a cross I because it's what I believe in. If you believe in athletic, fast, twitchy guys, I mean, you gotta go with what you believe. But my thing is, I think Kansas City got to go for it. Kansas City has done this before, where they've identified somebody, and that somebody about 12 or 13. I mean, no, it's not even that long ago. 7 or 8 years ago was Patrick Mahomes. They went from like 20 to like 10 or no, to 12 because Rosen was 10. I think Pat Mahomes was taking 12, if memory serves me correct. And they made that move. And I think this year, I think they make the move to get Love. I think if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you need to get Love in the building and add something super explosive and dynamic to Patrick Mahomes because you just don't have that weapon. I'm tired of seeing Pacheco stomp the ground like a angry toddler when he runs. It's not going to do anything. You're too good of a team to be limited by an average running back, and I think that takes a lot of pressure off Mahomes if you actually get him a quality running back to go with him. So I like Love going to the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs have to make a move to either get in front of Washington or to make a move with Washington. And the worst thing that does is if you make the move with Washington, Washington should probably get a third, and you might, depending on who has the higher pick, you might do a pick swapping around. That's it, and it's easy peasy.
But we'll touch on that more in the draft show because we're gonna have ourselves a Commanders draft show and a first round draft show. So we got a lot to touch on coming to that.
And then we got the rolling mock draft in reverse order.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something only we do.
Yeah. Nobody's that insane to do a mock draft backwards. Like the first time KG brought it to me, I'm like, what? Hey. So you want me to start at the end of the draft and come to the beginning?
Hey, just a little wrinkle we throw in there. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, nobody can do what we do.
I was like, dude, hold on. This doesn't make sense. I was like, because there's no elimination. Like, so how do I know what got taken early and what's getting taken that? Like, am I making the right decision?
Exactly.
Oh, look, man,
this tape versus time thing. I'm gonna look at it both ways. If I'm a player, and like I appreciate guys like Bailey, Styles, and like if you're top, for me, if I'm top 3 in my position, I'm not going to the combine. I'm not. If I had the tape and I played top competent, this is my thing about the tape. I don't want to see you play Toledo. I don't want to see you play Northwest Idaho. I need to see you play the big boys. I need you to see you play SEC, Big 10, Big 12. I need, maybe a little. We put the ACC. I know I'm missing a conference in my head somewhere, right? Yeah. I need you to go against competition on your level because anybody can look like a giant amongst dwarves. I need to see how your motor is when the guy you're lining up got the same skill set as you on for his, like you going up against the best left tackle in the country. Let me see what you can do. Or the top 5 guy, or you're going up against a top 5 wide receiver as a corner. What are you doing in these instances? All right, it's easy to dominate the Terps and the Cornhuskers and all these other bottom Big 10 teams. But when you playing, when Ohio State and Michigan playing, when Alabama and Oklahoma or Alabama and LSU or whoever's playing, that's what I need to see the tape on, right? I need to see the tape there. I think that determines your first round guys. But on the other side, if I'm one of those guys, I'm going to be in my hoodie with my little press pass, walking around smiling, laughing, giving interviews. I'm not running. I'm not throwing. I'm not doing anything.
See, I only reason I disagree with that in terms of the times and the combine is because you can be a guy, and I'm a Chris Collinsworth it up. Now here's a guy.
Nick
Eamon-Wari Safety out of South Carolina. Got drafted first round by the Seahawks.
Right.
Coming into the combine, he was probably around a early 3, late 2 guy. He moved himself up to a 1 because of his athleticism.
So would you say when he came in there, he was out of the top 5 safeties?
He was probably the 5th or 4th.
Okay.
Now
I'm saying top 3 at your position.
I wouldn't do that. I think if I'm not top 3 in the draft, period, then I'm working out. Because I know, like, Sonny Styles is the perfect guy. Sonny Styles is going to look. I haven't seen his numbers. I guarantee you, Sonny Styles is probably crazy. He's going to break the broad jump record because he's 6'5", 250.
He's fourth highest linebacker since '99.
Okay.
And then the vertical is 43.5. That's the best since '99.
Right. And then he probably is going to run something sick. If he hasn't run already, he's probably going to run somewhere in the 4.4 to 4.5 range. And it's going to look effortless. So he's a guy he's going to make money today. He's going to push himself right behind Arvell Reese. So the problem teams like the Commanders might have is if Arizona and Cleveland don't address their offensive line issues, I think a lot of the defensive players are going to be gone. And then Washington's going to be sitting at 7, looking at their best options as Love, Tate, and 2 offensive linemen that they don't need. That's what they're going to get to. And that's going to be that could be a problem. So, like, Sonny Styles may play himself out of the top 7 and put himself in the top 5. Because, I mean, the man was playing safety 2 years ago, but now he's built like a shit brick house at 250, ripped up and
6'5", 244.
Twitchy. Another person that made money in the combine, and I told y'all, I said this when he was coming out. I said Anthony Richardson is going to make somebody make a mistake and draft him early because he can just spin it. He's an athletic freak. He doesn't have the experience, and sure enough, he was taken 5th. I think there's certain guys that when they get in the building and they just perform, man, and it just jumps out at you. I don't know if you get the year that Julio runs like a 4.3 40 with a broken foot.
Yeah.
Then on the other side of that, you got the guys that showed up and didn't do anything. Guys like Robert Gallery. I remember all the time.
Robert Gallery.
Mike Mamula. Mike Mamula jumped from like the 4th round to like the 1st round, the top 12, because of his combine. Of course, we talked about Anthony Richardson. Trent Richardson. The tape looked good. Tape was great, but then all of a sudden, and I mean, some of that is also the perils that come with being a professional player, and people asking you for money, and just the ups and downs of and the burden of being a pro athlete.
But I think that's part of a team's research. Like, that's failure on the team because you have to figure out what these guys grew up around. What's their support system? Because they're getting private investigators and stuff to investigate things anyway. So somebody missed something. Real quick, Mighty Ice says the NFL Combine is where money is made and lost, and I agree with him 100%. And that's what Midnight Rider was just touching on. And Mrs. Ball's checking in.
Oh no!
Quick.
There was a Penn State lineman. I don't remember his name, but I think he ran like a 4.7. I'm guessing he's a D tackle because if I remember correct, his 10-yard split was like a 1.62.
When was this?
Today.
Damn, I had his name because he was first for a while until Bailey ran.
Yeah,
he was first, and then Bailey knocked him down. I think he's 5th now. I had to get his name. I thought you was talking about. I thought you was talking about Aaron Maybe, the one Buffalo drafting.
Oh, he was an athletic.
Aaron Maybe. We call him Aaron Maybe because his tape. I wasn't impressed with his tape. I think it was just like this guy's athletic. Like you can be athletic, you can show up to this combine and out of the gym, but I need to see the tape to go with this because you can run a 4.5 on the field, or you can run a 4. Let's go the other way around. You can run a 4.7, but on the field for some reason in pads, you look like you got a rocket up your ass going up the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like game speed and this combine speed is two different things. People don't test well. People don't, because you got all the NFL GMs, coaches, owners, you got everybody here looking at you. It's a different type of pressure. So I think sometimes when you're in the field, you got that helmet on and you're in your zone, and that adrenaline going, you can go at different speed. And that doesn't always show at the combine. So, and then like you said, you got somebody like Anthony Richardson. Man, this guy's a freak, this, that, and the other. And now they looking to trade him.
Yeah, I mean, another good example of what you're talking about, a guy where his times don't look good, but his everything else, his field play is totally different. Is a guy that came out of Georgia Tech, playing safety for the Detroit Lions, Willie Clay. Clay was I think he was a 4.7 guy at corner, so they knew they had to move him to safety. And when he got to safety, he had a long career. He played like 8 to 10 years in the NFL. It's one of those situations where sometimes I think two things matter beyond tape and time, and that's styles. The style.
I was just about to say that.
Go ahead. I'll let you take it away before I finish my thought.
And I was just about to say that. When that whole Eli Manning thing happened, where he balked and didn't want to go, as a fan, as a young fan, not really thinking, didn't understand. I'm like, how could you not want to get drafted in NFL? You have to make sure where you're going fits how you play ball. It is so important because if you're going somewhere and you've been this type of technique guy, you've been in this type of offense for so long, and then you got a coach who's like, nah, we're doing it this way and that way, and it doesn't fit your style, it's not going to translate on the field. We've seen it countless times over and over again where these teams are ruining quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields, if he had got to the right system, when he got drafted, I think you would have got more out of Justin Fields. I think you would have got more out of the name escapes me right now. It'll come to me. I don't even know what school. I'm looking at his face.
You know what team?
No, it'll come to me. It'll probably come to me when I hit end stream and we go off the air. I'll be like, aha!
Right. I get a text message. I get a message. Hey,
I got it. But but we all know, and it's just not the quarterback position. It's been a lot of positions where if you just don't have the right guidance and the right structure and the right scheme, you're going to fail. It doesn't matter what your tape looks like. It doesn't matter what your time, your what you call them looks like. It just tape versus time. That don't matter. If you go somewhere where you've been running read option, I thought probably the best instance of this is Shanahan and Griffin.
Right.
He set his offense up for RG3, and he flourished in it. But then when you got Kirk Cousins, you got a completely different offense. I think that's one of the best examples. You can't run that with Kirk Cousins. You can run it with RG3. Right. Vice versa, you can't do it. So it's just like if you got a corner coming out of school and they play lockdown man, and now you're going to a team that plays zone defense, it's going to be an adjustment. So I ain't mean to cut you off, Ryder, but
yeah, you fine, because this is what we're talking about. Because when you talk about that, I think of the Commanders taking Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez, and how much I had to bite my tongue and just like find reasons to actually try to like the pick. I hated it.
Do you think he got a bad deal? You think he got a bad deal? Do you think if he had went somewhere else with a better system for him, you think he would have been better? I mean, because not only does
I think he's in the right system now. because
Okay.
he's in LA, and the Rams line is so good and so explosive
You
that
don't need to cover for long.
exactly. And they don't ask him to, like, I still watch him, and this is why I laugh when Commanders fans, like, he'll get an interception, they're like, oh, see, that's why we should have kept him. And then like 2 plays later, I see him talking to somebody while his face is like he's literally looking at the ground.
You can
and
see
just
the
arms out.
you can see the face mask hitting the grass and the grass feathers coming up.
Like, come on, dude, what we doing here? So you see
Man.
that, and then a person I think would be outside of Darnold. I think Chase Young kind of benefit from the situation where he came here, he was home. I think home didn't really work for him. He was hurt. He had a pretty good season last year with the Saints.
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
if he stays in New Orleans, he can probably build himself a nice little career, and actually, kind of recover from being here. Trying to think of any other. Oh, my favorite one. My favorite one is, and I don't mean to ramble on, but
You good,
you put a quarter in this jar sometimes, and it goes. Puka Nakua is my favorite example when you talk about matches. And if you get a chance, everybody go to YouTube. Go to, I think it's the Rams. I'm not sure what it's titled, but it's when the Rams draft Puka Nakua. They have the all access, so they have like where you can see Sean McVay and the GM talking, and Sean McVay comes up to the GM, and like the GM, I don't even know if he has Nakua in his sights, but he comes up, he's like, "That's the kid I want." He's like, "I can draw up so many things with this kid. I can do whatever I want with this kid. He's going to be a willing blocker. He's going to do this." Like, he's going down the checklist of everything he can do. And this is in the 5th round, I think Nakua was taken in. And he's like, "Trust me, we draft this kid. He's going to be special." And look at him now. It's that situation when you know what fits you and you stick to your styles and your types. I always talk about types, man. I'll save you what my types are because I always talk about red bones. I said it. Never mind. Too late.
We're gonna go into the second part of this real quick, and it ties in. Is the NFL Combine outdated? I'm gonna let Ryder go first because I know the machine's still going because that quarter drop and it's still fresh. So he's trying to get as much out of it as he can for a turn off. But
I ain't turn off. We're talking draft.
Hey, look, is the Combine outdated? Where did Combine start? 80. This is what we need, KG. I mean, you're the human Google, but what is it? 82?
I don't remember the exact year it started, but here's the thing. I think the one thing that I can say about the Combine is, I think they know that it's an old system. It's an old way of doing things. So if you pay attention, they'll have where they've taken out one drill and added something new in.
Yeah.
Because they know it gives them a better real world view of the Combine. The only thing I really want is I just need Mike Mayock back.
Where is Mayock?
He does CBS radio, and I think he does the team's games during the season. I just don't remember who it is. But the reason I want Mayock is because he's the guy. And this, look, the next couple things I'm about to say, I need a universal pause around all of this.
I got you. Let me write it down.
Because he talks about
universal pause.
Yeah, we did a universal pause for this segment
I circled it.
Because he talks about safeties with oily hips. And I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, that's my because then I remember watching, there was a kid from Florida State doing a drill. And every time he tried to turn his hips and flip his hips in the drill, it was just like, it just looked like it hurt. I was like, I've literally, when I watched the Combine, sometimes like I'll take mental notes now, just like write down, or I'll say, this kid, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like, and then there's certain people I know is going to automatically like throw themselves through, throw the ball out the gym because of their arm talent. The kid that's the backup for Dallas now that went to Tennessee, I can't think of his name now. But he can throw it through. He could probably throw it through through sheetrock. But I just can't think his name. Joe Milton. That's his name. The dude's got a crazy arm, but just don't know where to go. It's a howitzer. And that's just one of those things. It's just like when I watch the draft or the combine, I look for certain things, and I think they've done enough adjustments to make it real world. Like they run certain drills where they have the guys running the loop at defensive end. The safeties do the drill where they drift back, they flip their hips and then turn and run to a spot to catch the ball. The wide receivers, that one with the tunnel where they're catching passes from both sides.
Yeah.
I love that drill. I think they've made some tweaks and adjustments to kind of keep it modern. I still think there's certain things like quarterbacks running the 40. I mean, I don't know what that tells you.
I could be done with that.
But I still like it because you kind of see what I try to take away from quarterbacks running the 40 is like, is it smooth? Is he a runner? Is he just going to be a guy that, I'm flat-footed, whatever, and he's not going nowhere. So now he's a pocket passer because he runs a 5.62 40. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not running readouts for him.
But you would have known that from the tape.
You do, but
you would have known that from the tape. But if it's possible to sneak this guy out and have, because Mendoza's going to be a dual threat quarterback. He's not the quickest thing, but he's going to be a dual threat quarterback when he touches the Raiders. Speaking of Raiders, Matty Ice, I think for QB it is they want to throw to their guys, not people they don't know. And I don't like that.
I actually love it.
I look, anything looks good rehearsed and polished. You had time to wax it. I want to see you throw this tree to guys that you don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you're throwing the guys like I said, it's going to look good. It's going to look crisp. You know what I'm saying? You know how this guy wanted. Y'all, hey, now, take a little bit off of it. Blah, blah, blah. Nah, throw to this guy right. I just got this guy off the street right here. I want you run a fly, and he's going to throw you this ball. You know what I'm saying? And now, because you don't get to get the timing from each, because when you got those couple receivers, you know how you got to throw it, the timing, how fast they are. Now you got these random guys, and you got to make that adjustment on the fly. That's what I want to see.
That's part of the reason I like the throwing part is for two reasons. One, certain guys know they got special arms, so they're going to show you their arm is special.
Josh Allen.
Then you get a guy like who's the guy that I like? Actually, I'll give you a guy this year that there's two guys that college numbers, college career, but I think when we get to the quarterbacks, the kid out of Penn State, Drew Aller, he's gonna put on a show. He's got talent. His problem is I feel like his offense didn't fit him. I think he's one of those guys where we talk about fits. Trust me. The other kid is Cade Klubnik. I think Cade Klubnik out of Clemson. I didn't like what I saw from him this year, but I think he had some situations where you got to remember these guys are throwing to their teammates, and some of these receivers drop passes in important situations. They kill drives themselves.
Absolutely.
3rd and 5, and he crossed the middle at 10. You hit him in the hands, and it hits the ground. It's certain things you can't do, and Clemson hasn't had good receivers in the last T. Higgins is probably one of the last good receivers I remember out of Clemson. I can't think of a name besides that. Right. So that's what when I say that type of stuff is like I think certain guys will get an opportunity to show what they can do and make it work. So I kind of like sometimes watching them throw because it's not always about the accuracy of the throw. It's all right, you made a bad throw. How do you react to it?
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
that's go ahead.
Because that bad throw followed by another bad throw, and that's something Matty I say. Now it's costing you money. Now it's costing you a little bit of money,
But
depending on especially if you're a third round guy, second day guy. Because now some of these throws, just like you said, Anthony Richardson, they be like, you see everybody smiling and looking at each other and writing on them. Did you see that? Wow. and then you get got. So
but it's funny because there's also some of these guys that I think, they picked the wrong program. They ended up in the wrong spot and it didn't work out. You get a couple of these guys every year that they go to good schools. A guy like, I'll say my favorite one. I'll say my favorite one is Jeff Driscoll. You tell me when Jeff Driscoll was in college, he was gonna get drafted. Thought I'd have called you every name outside your God given. I hated Jeff Driscoll at Florida Atlantic. I hated him when he went to church on Sundays. I just didn't see it. But he turns around and has like a 8 or 9 year. He's still playing football in the league right now.
Is he?
Yeah, he can't. He's been on practice squads. So
Okay.
he came to Washington when Mariota got hurt. They signed him off of the practice squad, but he was the third quarterback here last year. So he's still making money. And this is why when I listen to people, I always say one of the failures as young black quarterbacks is they get in situations and they don't latch on to that OC. Like if you latch on to an OC or a quarterback
like a newborn,
hey man, you got to suckle at that teat because you're gonna get somewhere. My favorite example of this from a black quarterback standpoint is Tavares Jackson. Tavares Jackson was in Minnesota. He was in Seattle. He was wherever Darrell Bevel went. And he ended up having like a 10 or 11 year career.
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor's a guy. He goes places even though he gets hurt. He starts one game and is hurt the next one, and whoever's the third string guy is gets
or he'll give you 3 or 4 Pro Bowl games, and then he get hurt.
Yeah, he's getting hurt no matter what.
But he's mastered giving you different combinations of the same, the same scenario.
I forgot he was in Buffalo for a stretch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. But
but look, but look, as much as I said, if I'm a first round guy, I'm not doing a combine because it was a couple guys today pulled up, and now you're hoping they're not hurt. Can they finish the rest of the drill? Is that going to hurt their money because they got hurt? You know what I'm saying? That's something you have to think about. Now,
well, but the good thing is most of the time those are soft tissue issues.
You hope, you hope, but you still don't want to see somebody because I still think it hurts them getting hurt and now having to pull out the rest of the combine, not can't doing the rest of the drills, and because if Sonny Styles and 3 or 4 other guys in your position show off,
right,
and get leaped, and now you didn't do the rest of the drills, you're losing out. You didn't get to show what you. Now you got to go back to the tape.
Right.
Kind of like a Willis McGahee situation, but like, look, yeah, the knee's blown out, but this is what he was before the knee got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
I think a person in that situation right now, and this is one of my third round guys that I think could be special is Harold Perkins out of LSU. He was I think he was all SEC freshman or SEC freshman of the year. He had like 11 or 12 sacks his freshman year. I think the second year he struggled. Third year, I think he got hurt. And I think this year he had an okay season.
Okay.
But I think he's one of those guys. Now here's a guy that I think when he gets to the pros, he's gonna be different. And I think he's one of those guys that you're gonna be like, I don't remember, because like I see people talking about the kid from Texas A&M, Cassius Howell. As
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think I like Perkins more than I like Cassius Howell. And maybe that's a little biased because I remember him as a freshman. And I think sometimes with guys with knees, sometimes it's not the next year, but it's the second year. When you're 2 years away from the knee, is when you actually get the full scope of who they are. Kind of like
they got to get that confidence back.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of what happened with Chase this year. Is Chase had another year removed from everything that was going on with his neck and his shoulder, and he played well towards the end of the season. I think he came on late. I think he was I don't know if he even started the first couple of games. I think he was on pup, and then he got started like maybe week 7 or 8. So, and that's not bad because I mean, with a 17-week season, I think his contract he had like a bonus for playing games, or some of it was built into playing games. So he got money every time he played.
Good. The only thing I would like to see out of the combine is to start just like they do the Super Bowl, start rotating different places. I would actually like to go to a combine all 3 days.
Then we gotta go to Indianapolis because I don't think they're moving out of Indianapolis.
Yeah, I just it's a personal wish for me. Like, come to Washington, go to LA, go to you need a dome because you can't take the chance with the weather. So I don't know if Jacksonville's building a new stadium, aren't they? I don't know if theirs is a dome or not because everybody loves Florida, right? But yeah, go to Atlanta. You ain't make it go to Atlanta. You ain't got to go, and not so that you can get some East Coast love and then Indianapolis.
See, I think they like Indianapolis because it's everything's right there around the center.
It is.
And I think they have it mapped out where the hotels already know what's coming.
Yep.
They know they're gonna have dudes in gym shorts running the hallways. It's just comfortable and convenient. You know what I'm saying? I don't see them ever leaving Indianapolis because I think it's so perfect because every coach, if you want to coach, be a coach, you go to Indianapolis. If you a player, you go to Indianapolis. If you're a reporter, you're going to Indianapolis, and you're gonna either go to St. Elmo's for the cocktail shrimp with the horseradish cocktail sauce and clear your sinuses. Clear your sinuses, or you're gonna go to get you a burger, a Wagyu burger at a couple other places at Capitol Grill. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Indianapolis is one of those places where all you do is go on autopilot. You set it and forget it, and you good. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're just so comfortable. It's just in their bag, and I don't see them ever leaving Indianapolis. And the second that happens, I will stop the show and say, BJ, you right. They finally did it. But I just don't think they're gonna leave their little comfort zone because it's in the middle of nowhere. You don't
which helps those players.
Yeah, you don't have the big media thing. You know, the guys walk around with their stuff on, so you kind of know, but they probably don't get situations where the guys are getting mobbed because people are so used to just seeing, every time around this time of year,
the crowd going in.
Here's the guys. It's almost like if you live in a small town and every year in the summertime, the people come in that rent the beach houses or whatever, where it's for 9 months of the year, your town is quiet, and then for that summer beach moment, your town picks up, and everybody comes in, they do their beach rental for the summer, and then they leave out, and the town goes back to its regular thing. And I think that's the way Indianapolis is, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. I can dream though. I can dream about them moving it around a little bit.
I'm telling you right now, if the combine comes here, I gotta pass. I don't even care how much it costs.
No, I don't either. That's what I'm saying. You're missing out on the opportunity. Come to DC. Well, I can't. I don't want to wait another. What you said that stadium be ready in 2030?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to wait 4 years. I probably need to combine in my life in the next 2. I probably have to go out to Indianapolis.
Hey,
Yeah. I need to sit at the combine for 3 days and with some choice beverages and watch some drills. That's you know what I'm saying. I think that's in my
hey,
future.
I'm with you, dog. I mean, whew. I'm telling you right now, God could take me the day after I get home if I go to Indianapolis and see the combine. He's like, hey,
Oh,
hear what you said. I'm like, you know what? I know.
you right. I'm here. I'm
Take
here.
me to the king, you know.
Yeah, let's go. Um, we at the end of the show.
Yep.
Wrapping that shit up. Great show. Great show. I think Thursday is.
Oh,
Oh. Talk to me.
no, because you said something about Toledo, and there's a kid. Chris Collinsworth him up. Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
Toledo safety. His name is Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's 6'2", 202.
Was he playing in the East-West game?
I don't know if he did or not.
I think he may have, because it was a Toledo helmet all over the field.
Yeah, his little quick bio on Wiki doesn't show that.
Okay.
But I'm glad you said it that way, because I've seen clips of him, and dear Commanders fans, do not take this as me saying he is like Sean Taylor. He's the next Sean Taylor, I believe. But I see earmarks of him going sideline to sideline. And I can see where somebody could get lost in that kid being a deep safety, a single high safety, because he gets to everything, it seems like. And he seems like he knows what he's looking at. Like he sees it and attacks it. So I think this kid could be special. I think if he runs well, because I think safeties run on Saturday normally. I think they run Saturday, or either they run tomorrow. No, defense probably comes next day. So I think this tomorrow they run. And I want to see what his time is, because, yeah, he got a chance to be special from what I've seen. And if his numbers match, I mean, I've seen the tape. And all I need is the tape to be confirmed by the Times. And if the Times confirm the tape, then we good to go.
Hey, sounds good. You got any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
I'm going to say that was my final thought, so that way I can just kick it to you and let you finish this up.
Well, that is going to be it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network for Thursday Night Throwdown. That there is the Midnight Rider. I'm the Boss B. Our next show, the Gridiron?
Maybe. I gotta figure it out. I gotta talk to KG. I might need some help.
Okay. Well, next show for sure is a Saturday Night WrestleManiacs at 9 p.m. this Saturday. Might have some special guests, so stay tuned. If that's confirmed, I'll throw that out there on social media.
I think if it's this weekend, you gotta be careful, because I think more than likely the WrestleManiacs might go on a little early because of
I've been talking to them.
Huh?
Because the Elimination Chamber is this weekend.
Right.
So they might have some special guests.
Okay. All right,
they might have some special guests. And then, of course, the following day, Sunday, the Sunday Rise, 11 a.m. So, hey, mess with us, man. Like, subscribe to our channels. We're on YouTube, Facebook, X, TikTok. I forgot where else we are. We're everywhere. Wherever you listen or watch stuff at, we're there. Find us, Sideline Junkies. That's all I got. Ryder,